It seems like every year we get fixated on a game, especially when you got several months lead up to it. So Texas A&M hosting Notre Dame is one of those games. A lot of folks are asking about it over here in the chat, and everyone's been honed in on Notre Dame's offensive line. It's already going to be young. Then you have the left tackle go down, so you probably got a true freshman starting left tackle opposite Nick Scowerton. Saturday night, Kyle Field, 100+ thousand. I think there's like 6 combined starts taking the field on that offensive line. So it seems like there have been things that people just harp on like that in games. And then the matchup, while it may be tilted in one direction or another, may not be as glaring as it was made out to be. I have a hard time seeing this matchup not be tilted pretty glaringly towards Texas A&M. Having said that, the number on this thing at FanDuel is A&M -2.5. And I just keep going back to the other side, and I keep thinking, well, why is the world on A&M? I know why they are. I'm on A&M. But I also think folks are forgetting Notre Dame's half decent defensively as well. And they're just as capable of throwing the crowbar in the spokes of A&M offensively as the alternative. And so, man, I think the over-under is 46.5 in that game. I didn't bet it, but I'd have a hard time seeing that thing get to the mid-40s. How do you see that thing playing out?
I think whichever offensive line has the greater survival skills wins the football game. As in, who gets less people killed across the course of the game? Connor Wigman, Riley Leonard, pick a running back, whoever that is, if they decide to go Wildcat. I was sitting here trying to find the tweet from the guy that covers Notre Dame. I can't find it, but he tweeted something about how the media guide had been tracking their starters since '82. And every year since then, they had at least one senior starter on the offensive line for the season opener. And this will be the first year in 40-something years that they don't. I don't have a lot of confidence in Texas A&M's offensive line right now. But I have a lot of confidence in Howard Cross. I have a lot of confidence in R.J. Oben coming over from Duke on that Notre Dame defensive line. They're going to be able to be problematic. And as you mentioned, Nick Scowerton, you throw Shamar Turner out there, who I think has a chance to be the best defensive lineman in the SEC this year. I have a ton of confidence in what that group's going to be able to do, specifically with Mike Elko now designing it. Now, second level of that A&M defense, probably not as confident as I was last year. So who takes care of the football and which offensive line gets less guys killed, I think essentially decides this game. And then go back to what you discussed a little bit earlier. The helmet comes, a new offense. I love Mike Denbrock. I think he's incredible. The way he has been shown versatility over the last few years, what he did with Jaden Daniels last year was amazing. But it's still the first game with a new quarterback in a new system at a new place on the road that's going to be really loud and really hot, and you're trying to listen in for the first time in live action. That can cause commotion, man. Like, that can be difficult. So I'm interested to see what the game plan is. For me, I would go exactly where you went, ground and pound, not just with my run game, but I would try to do it also with my quarterback, and I'd have some extra bigs in there, whether it's tight ends and extra offensive linemen, and just say, we're going to do our best not to get blown up here. Now, from what I hear out of camp at Notre Dame, the wide receiver position feels like it's elevating. They say it's elevating. Well, Josh, I've been hearing that, like I've been hearing the A&M offensive line is going to be back to what it was in 2020 for the last 5 or 6 years. So, and it hasn't really happened. Tight end, I'll buy it. I'll believe you. Receiver, I'll wait and see. You're going to have to prove it to me. So I do like the A&M weapons, though, at wide receiver, in the backfield. And I think that's where maybe you make Connor Wigman's life a little bit easy. I'm also interested to see from a quarterback run perspective on that side of the ball. I mean, we know what Colin Klein has done as a player and as a coordinator with quarterback runs. You're going to run Connor Wigman? He hasn't survived a season yet. So how far do you go out of your way to protect him against a really good defensive front and an offensive line that may be struggling?